As a child, I was taught to wish upon stars, pinned up on busted ceilings, glowing in the dark, street and porch lights glaring through windows, reflecting off the ceiling of houses, houses in themselves to find comfort. When all we had were borrowed floors and mattresses or the leather cushion of our car, we would find a way to sleep comfortably because my mother said so. You see, back then, everything Mom says goes, so we'd curl up next to her, we'd close our eyes, and we'd just listen. The four of us would be tucked away into the warm pocket of her skin, my sister, my little brother, and me, my oldest brother. Always laying at her feet, furthest away from the stories that she told. My mother showed us that she was more strong than weak on most days and on others. Well, the tide in her face would tell you she was ashamed for taking credit for who we'd become, and she knew very well we were raised by the sun. Dropped off by the moon in her chest, holding her heart like a secret that we were all dying to hear through buried whispers, loosely smuggling culture into the root of her jaw, teeth clenching as tight as she held us. Since we were young, we laid our heads on dreams, pillowcased into the flesh of her forearm. Breathing proverb into her wrist, embraced with sterling silver bracelets, braced with promises, wrapped in gratitude. We would watch as she would fold thankful into her purse like dirty dollar bills that we learned always had value, despite its youth. Shift hope behind her ears like she still believes her hair will one day grow long enough to dance in the wind. My mom is one of 10 children, and she was fed as a child by a great woman who stood beside an even greater man in us. We are the first generation of seeds to be planted in America, and sold by tradition, brought up in the islands, caught in the breeze of rivers held up to her eyes, because I swear it was like on nights she couldn't find the strength to speak. She would hum softly into the mellow slopes of our ears, of our drunk men pounding crooked doors, cars racing, the sound of sirens and cuss words roaming our complex. We were raised like yeast, swirling into the belly of homemade bread as we were carefully watched. We were never spoon-fed with riddles. We never knew the difference between punishment and discipline, but my mother made sure her hands were never as heavy as my father's were, even if it meant the weight on her shoulders had to be. And how she managed to get the four of us ready on her own, call around for a ride, and still make it half an hour early to church, just to watch all the men left in her put on a dress, dust herself off, and call it her Sunday best. My mother taught us never to question God, even though I know she did too often. She'd quicksand her way back into humble. The moment she realized we were watching, never did I expect her to be perfect, but to always be strong, because she is, and she kept the five of us close, reminding me of points that make up stars, just a silhouette off the ceiling right before we would fall asleep, tucked away into the warm pocket of her skin, my sister, my little brother, and me with my oldest brother, always laying at her